have to say there are many different forms of dementia. We have Alzheimer dementia. We have the so-called vascular dementia.
My name is Frida. Vienna. Big city, hey. Don't get me wrong. This isn't the first time I'm here in a big city. I was here working as a tailor in the fabric, in the factory. And here's where I met Fritz. He was a tailor too. Well, it wasn't love at first sight, you know, but we got married. I guess I just couldn't get rid of him. You see, I left Vienna and went back to Styria, where I come from, because my brother needed me to work in our farm. We have a huge farm. Well, it's more like his farm now. Somehow I just ended up that way. And he got a job as a bus driver, and we started to build our dream home. It's surrounded by the forest, overlooking a valley, and they say in a few years they're going to build a big lake there. Can you imagine that? And then my parents, Fritz and I, and Andreas, our son, we would live together there. But Fritz lost his job. It was just so unfair. We just didn't have any money to bribe anybody. And that's why we are back in Vienna. Because Fritz found a job here as a bus driver for the post. Big city. I hate big city. There's no nature. And it's so noisy. And the people, sorry, I just don't feel like I belong here. Well, maybe someday we'll go back to Syria, who knows? Well, we have a flat here. Yeah. We live in the 12th district in Mining. It has its own bathroom and toilet. Yeah, and a small kitchen and a living room and a bedroom. And guess how we got this place? We wrote a letter to our chancellor, Mr. Kreisky. We told him that we are a young family and we need a place of our own. And lo and behold, he read the letter. Oh, God bless you, Mr. Kreisky! Yeah. And the other day, when we went out for a walk in the Viennese woods, we came to a place called Gablitz. Somehow, it reminded me of my hometown. Maybe one day we will build a house there. Huh? Hey, it doesn't cost anything to dream, does it? Andreas? Andreas? It's time for bed, Andreas. Andreas, you have school tomorrow. Come on. Andreas? Andreas. Why are you hiding? Come on, let's go to bed. You have school tomorrow. Come, come. Andreas. Andreas. Slim. Andreas. Cook. Andreas. Andreas. First bear on the moon. Oh, gravity. Hello. His name is Teddy. And we are best friends. We go everywhere together, yes. Even when we go to Steiermark, I bring Teddy with me. We have a big house in Steiermark, and sometimes it can get very scary. Especially when there's a storm outside and there's a blitz and the lightning, and then there's a thunder. And then I'll be there to protect Teddy. And we play in the woods sometimes. On guard. And we also paint. You know, the last time, a few days ago, Mom and Dad, they painted the whole house white. And while they were out running some errands, me and Teddy, we took a red crayon and we went along the wall. We were pretty quick. Upstairs and downstairs. And when Mom and Dad came home, they just looked and looked. I guess they were so surprised they didn't know what to say. Yeah. And then we drive back 2 hours in the car. I hate to drive in the car. To Vienna. It's not so funny in Vienna. the boys at school, they call me names like country boy. They kick me and they pull my shirt. But I have a strategy. Teddy is not allowed with me when I go to school, so watch the house. And when someone comes in, you just bark. So at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm waiting at our front door. And I look across, because that's just my school, it's just 10 minutes from me. And I see that all the boys have gone into the building, and the school bell rings. I will open the door, dash across the street, up the stairs, and sitting next to Christoph, and I'm safe. And then at midday, the same thing, when the school bell rings, I will down the stairs, rush across the street, and I'm home again with Teddy. And I'm safe. Daddy, my dad, said last night that I could hit back to protect myself if I have to. But I'm much bigger than the other boys. I don't want to hurt them. It's not nice to hurt them. And they're mean, but they're not so mean like Mr. Spinner. Mr. Spinner he's my mom's boss. My mother, she makes hats at home. And me and Teddy will help her sometimes. We make beautiful hats. Like this. And then we'll take this hat at the end of the month and we'll take the tram to Mr. Spinner. And Mommy will be trembling all the way. Mr. Spinner, he looks a little bit like a pirate. And he'll say, show more from Pamperl. Look here from Pamperl. Look at this. The stitches on the side. You don't think they're a little bit too wide, huh? Oh, you have to be careful the next time, huh? Or he will say, oh, from Pamperl. This hat is so outmodish, you know. So old-fashioned. I don't think I can sell many of these. Or he will say, from Pamperl. Oh God, this feel. Oh, look at this. This is so perfect. But the economy is so bad, you know, nobody will buy hats. And then he will pay Mommy less than what he promised. No. And the other day, I came home from school. I saw Mommy with red eyes. I know she has been crying, but I don't really know why. But I sing her favorite song. I always will have.
way from Vienna, Apollo! And our lovely singer and actress, Sam! Myself, Andreas. Apollo, what are we cooking tonight? Schnitzel Wiener Art, Viennese Porkchop. Traditionally, Viennese Porkchop is made of whale, I don't know, I always get it wrong, it's not the fish, it's the baby cow.
The veal!
Yeah. So, but many people actually make it with pork because it's cheaper. And there's also a Turkey version in Vienna because many Turkish people live in Vienna. So how do we do it, Apollo? Mehl, Eier, Semmelbrösel, flesh. Okay. So that is flour, beaten eggs, breadcrumbs, and meat. But Apollo, the meat is so small, and there are so many people here. You think it's enough?
Ja, zuerst schneidet man es in der Mitte, aber nicht ganz.
Okay, first you cut it in the middle, but not the whole way through. Yes.
Dann öffnet man es und klopft es mit einem Hammer drauf.
Wow, then you open it, it's already double the size, and then you beat it up very big. That's an elegant way to get a big schnitzel out of a small piece of meat.
Typically Viennese, bluffing with style.
Yeah. And because the Wiener Schnitzel is so famous, we actually composed a song about it. Sansa?
Schnitzel, you are a piece of lovely meat. You're everything that one would need. Golden light, the Viennese sunset. Long ago now, where France was Sisi met. Oh la lady, oh lady. Oh la lady, oh lady, oh lady. Oh la lady, oh lady. Oh la lady, oh lady. The breadcrumbs on you brings back memory. The sand on the Mexico beach. I can hear the waves of the contaminated sea, which we in this city will never see. Oh la lady, oh lady. Oh la lady, oh lady, oh lady. Oh la lady, oh lady. Oh la lady, oh lady. Schnitzel, my darling, I love you the most. Chinese New Year 2010. Hello! Happy Chinese New Year! Yeah! I wish you a 新年快乐 and good business and a lot of money. Huh? No, I don't celebrate here. I don't know so many Chinese people. But last night we ate steamboat at home. Huh? Yeah. He's in primary school now. Primary 1. What? Is everybody there? I can hardly hear you. Huh? Okay, I speak to her. Thank you. Hello, Dacie! Happy Chinese New Year! I wish you a beauty forever. Thank you. Here. Yes, he is in primary school. Yes, he is in primary 1. In theatre, the same. Yeah, he can survive. What do you mean? Why not I just go and join Hollywood? You think it's a private club, is it? I pay $20 and then I can be lifetime member. Huh? Can survive, don't worry. Hey, is mommy there? Can I speak to her? Huh? The last time I saw her, she was okay, what? And then? Is it? Hey, just ask her to come, please. Never mind, just ask her to come. Wait, mommy. And what? Did I hear at the end of the line? She was the eldest, she must take care of us. Actually, we were moving around so much and every few months, where the school would take us. But your mother, she was carrying your auntie when she cried, and singing songs to her. And also she carried the uncle, the little uncle, because, he cannot walk now because he was a child, he had polio, right? So he cannot walk, right? I remember actually he's very lucky. I remember that night when he was still a baby. He got high fever. Yes sir, high fever sir! And then your grandpa and your grandma was carrying him in their arms and run all the way to the hospital. No money to take taxi ma. And then when they came to the hospital, the doctor told them, if they came 2 hours later, he would have lost complete use of his body. So actually he was quite lucky, he only cannot walk long. And then your mother, I remember actually, was carrying him one day, I think because he's like late for school or something. So he was running, and then she fell down and broke 2 front teeth. No lah. I was born 1946, the war was already over. When your mother came, they used to put soot on her face. When the siren rang, you just run where everybody else is running to. Yes sir, just run where everybody else is running to, sir! And sometimes he also was hiding at the Pamperl temple, Matchmaking lah. Matchmaking one actually I remember, I was sleeping. And then I heard this sound. Sha 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 sha. Sha 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 sha. I woke up. I just stood up outside. And it's started shush, shush. What is it? It's from her wedding gown. Making this shush, shush, shush. Yeah, this one. And then it was still dark outside. The sun hadn't risen yet. Because they say it's luckier when the bride goes to the groom house before the sun rises. In the dark. Huh? Actually, like keep napping on. 太阳往上爬呀，往上爬，爬上了白塔，照进我们的家。我们家里人两个呀，爷爷爱我，我爱他呀。热烘烘的太阳往上爬呀，往上爬，爬上了白塔，照进我们的家。头不梳呀，脸不洗呀，家中记忆是烧茶呀。Mother's favorite song. She used to sing. When I was still a child. Mother never liked me from the beginning. I don't know why. Maybe I did something to her in my past life. But I'm a Christian, I cannot say these things. Yeah, but she's still our mother, and I try to do my job as my duty as a daughter-in-law. Remember? I used to sneak in at home when she's not around and put money inside the piano. Remember that? And it was not easy to save this money, you know. I was only eating bread. And because I was eating so much bread, I got fat. And Mother thought that I was getting fat because I spent all my money on myself. Anyway, I'm closer to that. Isn't he a handsome boy? Right? When he was born, I thought he was the cutest, most adorable thing ever. And I couldn't understand why. You know, I took his photo for this cutest baby contest organized by the supermarket. And he didn't win. But now when I see his photograph, he did seem a little bit blue. Yeah, it was a difficult birth. It took me 3 days to give birth to him. But it even took me longer to get him a birth certificate, you know? Because it's like this. In Austria, the child's nationality is that of the mother. And in Singapore, you know already, the child's nationality is that of the father. So for some time, Apollo was stateless, sort of like, belong to no state. We quite like that idea, kind of like global citizen, right? But it was very, very troublesome for traveling, for administration. So we decided, enough, we get him a birth cert. So we have to go to the district council to get him a birth certificate. And the people there were very helpful. Yes, really. Really? They were working for us, they were really checking all the books, you know, these books are so thick, they were checking the books. And then, of course, after a time, there was a whole line of people waiting outside queuing. And then after a while, they got a little bit upset. Why they have to wait so long? This music very loud, eh? And so, where was I? Queuing, and then they started to complain, right? And then the administrator came out, and the administrator said, don't blame us, okay? These two people, they are so complicated. We are working all inside for them, but they are just so complicated. And then there was a auntie was sitting next to an old lady, and this old lady turned around and said to him, couldn't you find an Austrian girl?
And I said, you know, love, it falls wherever it wants to. In Vienna, in the U-Bahn, the MRT, they distribute a free newspaper. It's called Heute.
translated in English is called Today. And in this newspaper, they wrote that 30% of all crimes committed in Vienna are done by Ausländer. Ausländers means foreigners, immigrants, like me. A local person walking down the street and sees me might think that, oh, there's a chance, 30% chance that she's going to steal my money. They're really afraid. They're afraid that we will steal their money, we'll steal their jobs, their men, their university places, their kindergarten places, even their identity. I walk down the street in Vienna, and there's a group of young boys sitting down and they say to me, "Hey, Luda, kannst du überhaupt sehen, wie der steht auf dem? Hey, you, can you see anything at all with those slanty eyes?" I'm condemned as a dog meat eater, as a fish eye soup lover. And when I confided my swallow soup, my friends, local friends, they listened to me with great empathy, and they comforted me. And they said that my problems are not unique, that my problems exist everywhere.
Viennese Porkchop Mini schnitzel.
Schnitzel. Now what you put inside?
No, it's very easy. Flour, beaten eggs, breadcrumbs, and then you fry it.
Flour, beaten egg, and what? Breadcrumb. What meat is that?
Pork.
Pork, very good. Pork. Hakka people like to eat a lot of pork a night. What? A pork leg lah, you know, pork leg soy sauce, minced pork with the 梅菜 right? And 3-layer pork. Pork ear, pork brain, pork thigh, pork here, pork there, pork everywhere. Hey, your mother, she cook very good pork, and she also like to eat durian. You know you need 12 Floyd, 12 Floyd last time, 12 Floyd. And then I come to your house visit, from downstairs I can already smell the durian, you know. She very creative, she cook durian kueh, durian cake, durian agar-agar, durian with coffee, durian orange, you know. You must have gotten your creative business from her. I talk so much, okay, I get you something to drink. Tea, okay? Tea, tea. So tea, everybody come. I have another tea for you. I have iced lemon tea. Share with family. Chrysanthemum tea. Tea are very heavy. Don't chew so long. My arm going to talk. share, huh? One thing about only, huh? I tell you, last time your mother come my house, knock on the door. I open, I see what I see. I see right hand, one tail, number 1. Left hand, another tail, number 2. Number 4, sitting inside the flame, and number 3 sitting on top of the flame, and number 5 inside the stomach. They walk around all the way, you know, from Siglap until my house in the old airport road. So she come because she said, 1个星期没有米香饭嘞。One week no rice to cook. So she come out and then with family, family share everything. But what share what lah? Oh, smell very good, very hungry leh. And then you know what happened? And then we sitting there, oh, very funny. And 10 children, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come here, I'm open mouth like this, And then 2 of my children, these 2 make They make it like fish orchestra, no? And then we sit opposite them and feel. I never see children eat so fast in my life. With family, share everything. When I married into your family already, he already has 4 children. I got time for good friends. But me and her, we very good. Very close, you know. We even find the same job. Take advantage. We find the same job in the factory. You know, this factory you must bring your own sewing machine. Sewing machine. And I put my sewing machine inside taxi. Taxi go lah. And then I reached there. And then remember what happened to your mother? So I went to your house. And guess what I saw? I saw your mother standing in front of the sewing machine. Dong looking at it, you know. Too far to push, ma. So I put the sewing machine inside the taxi, $2 left. You have or not? Everybody have. Very good. Another time, she knocked on my door. I open the door. I see her all black. From head to toe, all black. And then I say, oh, you chama. Then I run inside the kitchen. In my kitchen, I have one gurigong, you know, this can, the milk can. I make it on the table. Because when I go shopping in the morning, buy vegetable, right? The leftover the tin, I put inside the tin. Like my POSB, you know. And then I took money from my POSB, and I took the taxi. I bring her to the hospital. And then we arrived at the hospital. I put her inside with the doctor. The doctor looked at her, and then your father came, you know. He looked so worried and looking for your mother. And then I said to him, hey, what are you doing here? She's not dead yet, you know.
Hey, you're ready. It's the Wiener Schnitzel. Great. So now it's time. You got all an envelope. You have to take it out. You have to open it. And there is a wooden stick inside. That's what you need now. Everybody can take 1 or 2 pieces, however you like.
There was so much blood.
Hello. Just think. No, there was not.
There was so much blood.
Just think.
There was so much blood. My grandfather, he chopped off my finger.
No, he didn't chop off my finger. Maybe you can pass this. Everybody. I have 4 fingers still. It was just an accident. He wanted to put a big wooden stick into the earth with a big hammer. And I was thinking it's enough. So I put my hand there to stop him. And he was blind on one eye, he didn't see it. It was an accident.
My grandfather, he chopped off my finger with an axe.
No, with a hammer.
There was so much blood. So much blood. The whole basin full of blood.
Hey,
so much blood.
I cannot drive when you cry so much.
Oh yes, and then my uncle and my mother, they took me to the hospital in an ambulance, you know.
Oh, they bring me with his car to the hospital, very normal.
And then in the hospital, I sit beside a guy, he had his head chopped off.
Yeah. Oh. Ma, so dramatic, no. Actually, it was really horrible because his arm was chopped off. had a basin full of blood, and it was his blood.
So much blood, 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 so much blood. Say with me, so much blood, so much blood, so much blood.
Okay. There was really so much blood in my memory. All these years, I had this memory of a basin full of blood. Actually, I have a picture of that in my head, of this basin full of blood. But a few weeks ago, my mother told me it was not so much blood. I don't know, it's strange.
So much blood. There was so much blood. So much blood.
But
So much blood.
shh, let me think. What does it actually mean? I mean, all my memory wrong. I mean, it was quite an important episode in my childhood. I had to go to hospital many times. And if I get that wrong, what does it mean to the rest of my memories?
Oh, wait. You poor
Yeah,
thing.
don't waste my schnitzel. Hey.
You poor thing. Oh, come on.
It's okay.
Even your memory, you
No,
cannot
but
do
you too.
You two is a band there.
No, come on, you too. Huh? You're always telling me about wonderful food in Singapore. And every time when you come back, you cannot find it. I mean, I find the food here really wonderful. It's the best food in the world. But you have always something to complain about it.
Yes, because they don't taste like they used to. You know, my memory. The Hainanese chicken rice that melts in your mouth. And the juicy Hokkien meat, the prawns and the shrimps and the squid. What about the fragrance of the meal? And the ice kacang. And the chili crab! Pepper crab! Oh! I tried to look for it in Vienna. I tried to look for it in Singapore. And I cannot find it anymore. But when I close my eyes, I can still taste it on my tongue.
Memories, you can never forget them, but please, just don't trust them.
Maybe they just tasted like they do now, you know? They never tasted any better. But because I miss them so much, I make them better in my mind. You know? Kind of mystifying them. Bravo. He comes to me at night. When I'm sleeping. Stay. Don't go. Stay with me. I talk to him every day. I think he would just appear around the corner with his big smile. Then I shot at him. Where are you when I needed you? Stop coming to disturb me in my sleep. And then I shot at myself for talking to him again. He's never coming back. Never. I'm a bad woman. He came to me in my dreams in a torn shirt, and he said, "Schatzi, you forgot to get me a new shirt. It's my birthday." God, oh God, oh God. How can I forget his birthday? I never did. Am I starting to forget him already? I don't know why I'm still here. Time seems to pass so awfully slow. My mother took me and my brother to the river. She held our hands and took us to the riverbank. We looked up at her as she stared into the river. In her eyes, we saw it in her eyes. We were not afraid. We just didn't want to lose our mother. Nein, Mama! Tu es nicht, Mama! My son and his wife, they want me to come and live with them in Vienna. But I don't want to be a burden. They have their family, their lives. I hate big city. I hate to be old. It's a pain to be old. Every move is a pain. Oh, why did you leave me? We built our dream homes in Styria, in Gablet, but now they seem so empty without you. Like shells without snails, meaningless. Home, no more. Perhaps home is right next to you, where you now lay.
Du bist mein Gott. Auswegloser als jetzt habe ich mein Leben nie erfahren. Aber du weißt den Weg. Ich spüre deine Liebe nicht. Aber ich will dir vertrauen. Für alle Zeit bin ich dein. Du kennst die Tiefe meines Erschreckens und weißt um die Dürftigkeit meines Glaubens. Selbst in der äußersten Verlassenheit bist du da. Ich werde nicht zerbrechen. Denn du wachst über mir. Amen.
Mama! Mama, wach auf! Mama! Wake up!
Wake up, Mommy! Wake up. My mother, she has dementia. I couldn't believe it was her on the phone when I ran home. I could kind of make out that she was trying to say in Hakka, "Who are you? Why did you get me to the phone for?" So I tried to imagine what's going on in her mind. Does she remember me? Would she recognize me when she sees me? Maybe she will remember some special moments. Some particularly joyous moment. For example, when I was born, maybe? No. She said that was the most painful day of her life. She didn't want to have the 7th child anyway. What about when I was in primary school and I was winning all these prizes and performing in the orchestra and singing in the choir? Huh? Maybe she would remember that. No, she wouldn't remember that. Because she never came. So I was trying to find in my mind, what could my mother remember? Or maybe some joyous moment. I searched in my own memory for a joyous moment with my mother. And I was looking and I was searching, I was looking, I was searching, nada. Nothing. I don't have joyous memories with my mother. No, but what did I do with it? Surely I must have some, right? But what did I do with it? Did I lock them up in the cellar and then throw away the keys? What did I do that for? So, my mother's memory and recollection is not so clear, so we decided to interview her brothers and sisters and her other children to find out more about her life, you know, what she had told them or what they remember about her. And in this process, I discovered that my mother is a summation of memories of all the people around her. My mother is a summation of memories. She's a construction. She's a fiction. My mother is a fiction. And so before I came back to Singapore to meet her for the first time since she had dementia, I talked to a lot of people. I talked to doctors, nurses, people who take care of dementia people, and I read about it. I read case study methods. I wanted to improve her life. I wanted to do something for her, but how naive was that? I mean, I'm her daughter, I'm not her therapist. And I can't even be sure if I see her that I don't burst into tears. And then the day arrived. There she was. And she looked so tranquil, so quiet, so calm. I had never seen her so calm in my life before. Of course, she was not always like that. My sister had told me that a few months ago she would be standing at the gate and be shouting and screaming to be wanted to let out. And she would shit all in her pants and spread it all over the ground. And if you dare go close to her to try to clean her, she would bite you. A friend of mine once said, it's probably more frightening to realize that you're losing your mind than when you have actually lost it. But at that moment, she was quiet. I sat next to her, and I reached out and took her hand. And I held it for a really long time. I've never held her hand for so long in my life before. She would have never let me, but now she did. And I said to her, Mama, I'm here. And she said, it has been a long time. So tenderly. I never knew this tenderness from her. Her life had been too tough for this tenderness. This was the special moment. This was the joyous moment. Maybe she's not the same person I used to know, but she's showing me my mother, whom I haven't got to know. My mother always wanted to be buried in China. She has been there for 3 times, only. But for her, China is home. Home is where the ancestors came from. Home is China. But now she doesn't even know where she is. And Frida, she built her homes in Styria, in goblets. But now for her home, it's right next to her husband in his grave. And me, I don't know where home is. The place that I once thought was home is probably just a construction of nostalgia. Home is where you came from. Home is where you want to be. Home is where you are. Home is my mother's home. Say